recover. We go straight away with Coach Zwane. Thank you for joining us. And members of the media, thank you for joining us. Coach, the usual, give us what you saw 90 minutes in summarized version.
No, thanks, Pravi, and good evening to the members of the media. I think we started off very well, we usually do. Now of late we put the oppositions, under a lot of pressure, and we force them to commit, mistakes, and got a penalty, and with no time they were also one man down, and believe we could have capitalized on that. We could have scored at least 4 goals going into halftime, and we're not ruthless enough in front of goals. And then halftime, I told the guys that in real life, when a man is down, you push him further down. I mean to say, you give him a helping hand, in real life. But in football, when a man is down, you push him further down. You make sure he doesn't come back. And I believe we had a chance to score at least 4 or 5 goals today. And we did not capitalize on that. And second half, we started very sloppy. And then against the run of play, we just gave them a goal where we did not shift across to close the passing lane, just to make sure that they don't penetrate through the middle, because that's their strength. And we conceded a goal that we shouldn't have. And then from that moment, we were gonna be under pressure now. It's either we get the third goal quickly and kill the game off, or now we're playing against a team that anything can happen at any given time. And we ended up conceding a lot of corners unnecessarily, where we were not even under pressure. Because of that, obviously now we were thinking that anything that can happen, then the score is 2-2. But we know we could have done better. Second half was, we dropped a lot compared to first half. If we started with the same tempo, same pressure that we applied first half, I think second half could have taken or created even more chances. Not that we did not create chances, we did create chances. Again, we're not ruthless enough. Then all of a sudden we nearly conceded just at the dead end, and could have been another thing. You can imagine, we were leading, and just lapse of concentration, then you bring them back into the game. And but we never stop working. Players are human beings. They're bound to make mistakes, and I hope we learn from such mistakes, because we had the opportunity today to score more than 2 goals in this game.
Thank you, Coach. Members of the media, the next 10 minutes belongs to you. We'll start with the mic, roving mic. Any hand? There's one there. Or we can start here. Let's go with a row. So we'll go from there and go up. Go for it, Coach.
Sia from Kickoff. I just want to ask on Christian side. On Christian side, particularly in the first half, the amount of pressing that he does, how important is that in the way that you want to play for the team, and what did you make of his performance today?
Look, Christian is one forceful player. He'll always put the opposition defenders, under pressure all the time, especially when he has the ball. He's not afraid of taking people on, Yes, I think today he did not have one of the, he was not at his best. When you look at the turnovers that we had, that he could have given us that advantage. At one stage we had about 4v2, about 4 or 5 times with those break attacks, and we're not just in terms of decision making, get the ball in the right areas, the player that can be able now to take the opportunity, and then we ended up allowing them to have numbers to defend, because of decision making. But we keep on working on these things. We never want to stop. This is football, as I said, and when you look at him, he's one positive player. He never stopped running. And yes, you're right when it comes to pressing. Sometimes he finds himself in wrong areas when we're defending. Why? Because he's more of an offensive player. If you remember where he comes from, he was more like a target man. So with us, we're playing with strikers that can become, number 10s. So at some point, we want him to drop into the pockets so that we cause a little bit of confusion. And this is how we actually create a lot of chances. It's just that, we don't take them. But when you look at the way they create the space, the way they hold the ball, how many times Mdu at one stage was in a position to score, facing the keeper, maybe first touch, maybe let him down, Kylian and Christian himself. So we'll keep on working on this. On such, we'll never give up on them. Like I said, and remember, we are a work in progress. As a team, we're getting closer. What was key for us today was to grind the results.
Thank you.
Coach Amazola from SABC Sport. The killer instinct that you always talk about, is it something that needs pre-season, a longer duration to work through it, and maybe even reinforcements, or you have a different idea about it? And also, drawing your attention to the fact that Stellenbosch beat you twice last season, but you've completed the double over this season. Is that a sign also of the progress that you are making as a team under your tenure?
Yeah, thank you so much, big man. If you look at where we come from the beginning of the season, we've been chopping and changing. We remember we started with Karma. We had Karma at some point as a top man before Christian, came on board, and Caleb also came when we had already started, the season, and we were always looking for combinations. And sometimes you'll never understand, because when you're looking for combinations, it's always difficult when certain players or some players, they come when we're already, under pressure, because they are also expected to come and deliver, and they still have to understand the culture and the environment and settle. So it's not easy, more especially in a team of Kaizer Chiefs caliber, where we are expected to perform week in, week out. So, and injuries as well, where when some of the players on song are doing well, and then it's either if they're not suspended, then it's because of injuries. So we had a very, very difficult season. For me, I think this is the worst season ever since I've been here at Kaizer Chiefs. Even before, when I was assistant, and even before, I was still with the development. I don't think any other coach has been in the situation that we are in at the moment. Myself, Sheppy, and the rest of the technical team. We've had so many challenges. And having said that, I think I must also still, commend the players that came in, especially under pressure, when those that were still trying to build a team or have the core around and bring in other players, knowing that this is the identity, so it made our life very, very difficult when it comes to that.
Thank you.
The Stellings, look, it's always good, though we knew it was never going to be an easy game. They've been doing very well. They've been grinding results home and away. And they're a good team, you must have seen also today. It's just that with us, the plan we had was to unsettle them early, force them to make mistakes, because like any other team, they also have their own weaknesses. So we wanted to capitalize on that, and they allowed us, to capitalize on that. But we could have been clinical to kill the game off. Like as I said, we should have scored more, more goals today.
Coach Lorenzo from the Just Times. They say winning breeds confidence, and with five straight wins, you can obviously see that some players are growing in confidence in your starting game. I think in the first half you saw them knocking the ball around with vigor and intention. But players like Zwane and Mduduzi, Shabala, what's your message to them after the game? Because at one point they seem a little bit complacent, they look away passes, and is that something that you emphasizing for them to do?
Yeah, look, we know when you are working on something, you'll always have youngsters that are playing football with its instinct, rather than maybe understanding the structure, because everything is about the structure at this level. And yes, as soon as they get excited, sometimes they become, loose because of what they hear from the stands, and then they think it's easy, and then they end up losing our structure. And then that's when we come in, just to remind them, that these people are one man down. Let's murder them. Let's bury them. As they grow and develop, remember they are still in the process of development. In South Africa, players, I think they mature at the age of 26, 27. Very few that you see them, excelling at the age of 20, 21. They still need a lot of, guidance, and also, play them with people who are experienced, players who are experienced around. And that is why we have players like Keegan around, more especially on the field. As long as he's there, remember he's been in France, he's been part and parcel of the national team. So otherwise, if you're not going to have a spine where you have leaders, maybe as a front man, and then in the middle, the goalkeeper, and one central defender, then you're going to have a problem, because you need people who can lead these youngsters while we're also trying to to build identity. So with them, obviously we've got that advantage of they've been in the development, and that is why with Samkelo you see glimpses of him getting the ball at the right areas, dangerous areas where we can be able to hit people. And with players like Sitebe, sometimes Yusuf, you still see a little bit of instinct here and there, and you understand why when the results are not forthcoming. We want to win the game at all costs. We end up losing the structure. So what is key right now is to grind the results. And as long as we're grinding the results, as time goes on now, the structure will be visible. Everyone will see this how Kaizer Chiefs play, because it builds the confidence of the team as well. So in the past, it's been like a roller coaster where it's been ups and downs. We're under pressure, and we never, even now, we're still under pressure. The next game we have to win. Because we are Kaizer Chiefs. But I'm sure most of us must have seen the potential and the quality young Samkelo possesses, and also Mduduzi, and many other players today. It's just that is that lapse of concentration. And as I said, while we coaches, at one stage I was a player. At one stage I made mistakes that were very, very critical, that costed the team, and I've learned from those, and now it's my turn to guide these players and make them aware, and they will grow in stature as time goes on.
Thank you. We are about
Coach,
to close.
Colin Hans, Josie. Coach, I just want to find out something. Please let us into what happened in the changing room when players comes into the pitch flat, whilst they left the pitch on a top note, as in 2-0 up, coming back a bit flat. And also just to find out, if we are 2 men up, how do we have the numbers balanced? You find 4 defenders marking 1 person, and all of them do not communicate, to a point that any ball that drops, it's like one wants, all of them are chasing shadows to say, where is the ball? Twice it happened that these guys get so confused. Is that a mental game? I don't understand. Help me with mathematics of that.
I think you've answered for me. It's mental. It's mental with us. Remember, you look at a team like Stellings, how they've been scoring their goals. They've got very quick players, and obviously we didn't want to create space behind, and we also didn't want to allow them to have the ball or enough time on the ball, just in the pockets, because they're dangerous. They've got quality players who are dangerous on the ball, more especially if you give them time and space. And as they get closer to the goals, anything can happen. So if there's one thing that we did right today, was not to allow them to get closer to the goals where they can have shots at goals. But what we did not do right, as you said, communication at the back was very, very poor. It could have been better. We nearly brought them back into the game because of that, and we could have just easily collected the ball and then start the build up again. So I hope we'll learn from that. And to answer you when it comes to keeping the 4 defenders, once you're playing against a team like Stellings and you allow gaps, they'll punish you. at one stage we wanted to sacrifice one central defender, but at some point it was going to give us a 1v1 situation. And they were already doing that because they've got very nippy and quick players on the ball who are also smart when they have the ball. So we didn't want to allow any spaces, because once you think you can match them pound for pound, you give them that space and they will punish you. And that's how they've been scoring their goals, because of the quality that they have.
The last question.
Coach, need Coach Zwane.
Yes.
You've masterminded Kaizer Chiefs' first win against Davies. I'm sure this will go into your history books and your bookshelf. I just want to find out from you, are you on cloud nine that you're the first coach to beat Davies?
Look, not really. This is a game of football where you try by all means to win every game. Though we knew that it was, having said that earlier on, that it was never going to be easy for us. Sterling's, they've been doing very well. They've been winning games home and away. They're a difficult team to play against because they've got hard runners and also highly technical players, and who are very, very good also in seeing the right moments and capitalizing on that. And you look at Reynes from SuperSport's been scoring goals left, right and center with the help of many good midfielders. And having said that, we were lucky not to concede in the dying minutes, because of they're very, very sharp. They gave us, a run for our money. It was not easy. They could have easily, capitalized, and the score could have ended 2-2, because they're a good team. And we just came back a different team second half. I don't know why. I remember, alerting the players that we're not going to drop the tempo. Let's put them more under pressure. Let's force them to make more mistakes and capitalize on that, because they're going to get tired, The altitude also can play in our favor because they traveled from, the more we put them under pressure, and then they'll slow down a little bit. But instead, it was us, who allowed them now to gain the momentum, and they nearly punished us. Why? Also because of the quality that they have. So we want to win every game we play. And I have so much respect for Coach Steve Barker and his team. But we were lucky at some point, not to concede in the dying minutes.
Makati, just a quick one.
Yes.
Quick.
Yes. Coach, looking at the log, you, SuperSport and Pirates, you're tied on 40 points, which means it's going to be dog in the last 6 matches. Your thoughts on that, and also anything to say for Sundowns who have now won the league?
Yeah, I would say congrats to them. They've done very well. They've been playing good football. They've done well. I think it's a challenge for everyone, to take our game to another level. And as I said, us, we are a work in progress, and we are growing. We're getting better and better. And as time goes on, we will be a different team. We'll also be a different team to play against, or difficult team to play against. And yeah, well done to Sundowns. With us, we take one game at a time.
5 on the trot. We meet right here next week, 20 hours against Marumo Gallants. Good night, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.